Well, what's up, music lovers? Thanks for clicking on this video, and you've seen the title, you know exactly what it is. But this time, for once, I'm not going to be just by myself. I'm going to have one of my best friends, Thierry, here. He's an amazing musician, amazing drummer. We just finished up some recordings. He's also Canadian, so I think it's very fitting that we talk about Rush. And we're just going to rank every single Rush album.
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. And, you know, this kind of goes without saying, but... I mean, we can't fucking have Rush be anything less than amazing, because it's still one of our favorite bands.
Is the minimum.
Yeah, that's the minimum, and it's by Rush standards, so we're going to try to really hold our feet to the fire and just have S tiers be the absolute best, and we might get into some arguments, maybe, I don't know. But, let's just get into it. So, first, 1974 did that album come out?
73.
1973, the first Rush album, just called Rush.
Very original.
Should I put it down in there?
Well, here's the thing about that album. It's probably their worst, but it's got one of their best songs, in my opinion, on it, which is Working Man.
Oh, you don't...
Working Man is... freaking amazing.
You don't think Need Some Love is one of their best songs?
Yeah.
It's
definitely.
But if we're doing
Alex Lifeson's best song
no, I mean, like, you can listen to this album and enjoy it, and there's some heavy riffs in it, like What You Doing, that, like, and it's pretty groovy, and the fact that they were, like, what, 16 when they made this, or they were really young.
They were young.
They were kids. It's pretty impressive for the time, and it's still, like, there's nothing bad on it, and Working Man's so great.
As a drummer, though, it's pre-peered.
Yeah. So
that already loses some points for me, because.
Rest in peace, John Rutsey.
Yeah.
And Neil Peart, for that matter.
Right.
But
Rutsey's a great drummer too. It's just not Peart.
Yeah, he had to step down right because he just couldn't handle touring and had diabetes, and they wanted to go in a different direction. I mean, you can still
I think it was for the best.
Yeah, I mean, well,
obviously.
Yeah, I think everyone in that situation would agree. And not to say you can't tour if you have diabetes. I'm just saying for the time it was extra intense.
Right.
But I mean, does one song make an album? No. You know, if we're ranking this as an album,
no. Definitely not. I would put it in the okay category.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll even have an album that's because I'll put it up in okay too, because, like, there's some really groovy riffs there.
Oh yeah.
And it just, even though I can't think that there's, I think it's probably going to be the lowest. I just can't bring myself to put a Rush album down, so that might be it. Okay, Fly By Night, and dude, Anthem is one of their best songs.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
I mean, the title track is also...
another one.
Know, I think... I might be wrong about this, but I think it was the first Rush song that I ever heard.
Nice.
And it, right away, I mean, I was like 8. Because you know my dad.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, biggest Rush lover in the world.
Dude, you have to be if you want to be full Canadian, right?
It's true.
They yeah, but okay, so I also really like By Tour and the Snow Dog. Rivendell's cool. I love this album, but I'll put it here for a placeholder for now, because I'm thinking, like, how does this album stack up against what's to come? Like,
right.
I mean, it's good, but I mean, Anthem can go up against anything on any of these albums. Fly By Night. And as much as I like the other stuff, though, I don't know, like, is By Tour and the Snow Dog really, does it really hold a candle to, like, Cygnus X1? Like, should we put it down in C?
It's hard rating Rush albums against themselves, right?
Yeah,
because if you were rating prog albums that came out at that time, everything would be A tier. S tier.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you put this up against... You know what, though? If you put Fly By Night up against, like, Trick of the Tail by Genesis, Trick of the Tail by Genesis is going up to S. Fly By Night, I feel like, is...
It would go down to
Yeah.
See.
Like Fly By Night is great, but do you think it's as good as like In the Court of the Crimson King or Trick of the Tail or
It's
Nursery
so
Crime
different
or
than King Crimson though.
yeah. Well, Trick of the Tail by Genesis.
Right.
You know, like that's kind of more comparable.
That's true.
I just
That's
think
hard.
they were just starting to get
Anyway,
their ground. It's
That's not our prompt. So
yes,
I regret
dude,
asking the question.
You cut out your fucking extra credit bullshit. We're just talking about Rush, okay? And we're not doing the 300 album covers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Should we put it in C?
For now.
Okay, yeah, we can adjust. Honestly, Caress of Steel. I think I like Fly By Night better. Bastille Day is great, but I'm gonna put Caress of Steel, if it's okay with you, in C tier.
Yeah.
Below Fly By Night.
I mean, it's a cool record. But it's 5 songs on it.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know, it's more of an EP.
well, but 2 of the songs are like 20 minutes long.
Yeah, but it's still just 5 tracks.
Yeah.
I don't care how long the songs are.
It's amazing they came out with these 2 albums in the same year, I think.
I know.
Freaking insane, dude.
Workhorses.
Yeah, I think Caress of Steel, even though I'll listen to it and I'll like it, it suffers from like I feel like they're a bit burned out, and I feel like they're kind of transitioning into what's gonna come, but they haven't quite found it yet. Because, I mean, I love it, but the songwriting on Fly By Night's better. You know, like the Necromancer and like it's cool, but
It's got one of their weirdest songs on it too.
I mean, it's J.R.R. Tolkien inspired lyrics, so that's awesome. But Rivendell's better than I think so.
And I mean, they quoted you, or you quoted them when you were talking to me earlier, and you were saying, "I think I'm going bald."
I didn't say that. I said that was one of the scariest song titles I've ever heard in my life. That, dude, you know, forget, like, Cannibal Corpse or Death.
Right.
Or fucking, dude, the scariest song on earth for any guy is I Think I'm Going Bald. Like, I don't want to fucking talk about that, dude. No, I'm... For now, knock on wood, I'm probably good from that front. But, okay, you know what, just for that... No,
I think let's put it behind Fly By Night.
Yeah, so it is, because it's like, it is behind Fly By Night the way...
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's... Yeah. And you know what, dude? I think in an interview Geddy Lee said that when they were making this album, they were smoking way too much pot than was productive. So, you know, it is kind of weirder.
I would believe it.
Yeah, and even Alex Lifeson said, like, it wasn't until the next album that they sounded like Rush, and, I do.
Yeah, let's just go ahead.
Do we even need to fucking say anything?
I don't even think we need to discuss that at all.
Yeah, and I
think that's, that's our opinion, but based on our long conversations about the record, I think it's safe to assume.
Although, should I be contrarian about this and put it down to A? Because...
Why?
Okay, look... because 2112 is one of my favorite albums. It's the album that like made me love Rush. 2112 is my favorite Rush song. But, compared to what's coming, because they start a string of albums that is just insane from there. And,
I mean, yeah.
Like, the second half of 2112 is great. But I think that some of the albums that come after are more... consistent. Like 2112 is the first half is amazing. The second half's good, but it's just a bunch of
you
know, like Tears is not bad, but like, you know what I mean. So if we're like trying to like really like nitpick it,
individually the tracks are not as balanced as some of the later albums, but as a whole, and how did that album affect you when you were a kid?
Fucking mind, dude. Whenever I still listen to 2112.
What about Moving Pictures? How did that affect you?
Honestly, Moving Pictures, I had heard... When I heard the stuff on the back half of Moving Pictures, it blew my mind. Mm-hmm. But I've always heard Moving Pictures, like the first 4 tracks so much that it was like, you know, Tom Sawyer and why is that?
It's Rush's top 40.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So like
moving pictures.
Yeah, so that is true.
Which doesn't make it not good. It just makes it overplayed.
I mean, I would definitely put 2112 ahead of Moving Pictures.
Yeah. We'll get to that. We'll get to
fucking
that.
Witch Trial, though.
Yeah.
What
did you say earlier? A track doesn't make a record?
Are you going to throw my own words in my face? Well, you know what, though? But still, though, I'm thinking... Okay, so maybe we keep it in S tier, but...
I'm open to the A tier.
If it is A tier, it's like top of A.
Right.
Because the only...
I'm just... Let's revisit. Let's revisit.
Yeah, that does hurt
I'm not sold on that, but that's just my personal...
No, we can talk more about it. I was just doing... Yeah, no, even me just putting it down here in A tier, I feel like I just committed sacrilege. Like, real sacrilege. Like, insulting a Rush album, not, you know, any bullshit sacrilege that people might say. No, but what made me think about it...
Kick your ass.
Who's going to come down and kick?
Geddy Lee.
Oh, Geddy Lee.
He's on tour right now for his book.
Oh, dude, that's cool. Was it a book about bass, or did he do an autobiography?
I don't know. Got no idea.
Well, I
never bought the book, so...
I didn't mean to put you on blast like that and let everyone know that you can't read.
I am Canadian.
Wait, what? You should be smarter. No, but the reason why... Okay, so going on to the next album, the reason why... What made me think, like, hey, maybe let's put 2112 in A, even though it pains me dearly, is I saw Farewell to Kings. You don't really like that album that much?
No, I mean, that album's great. Would I put it above Farewell, above 2112? Absolutely not.
It's just like... You have, like, a Farewell to Kings to start off with, and you have, like, a bunch of... You have Xanadu...
Right, which is a great song.
And then you have Cygnus X1. And then, like, the few short songs that are in between. What's the one I'm thinking of? Twin lead guitar solo. It's, why can't I think? Closer to the Heart. Wow, and Cinderella Man and Madrigal. Like, those are all great. Like, I don't know. I feel like maybe they balance their progginess and their short songs better. Yeah. Although... yeah, okay, you know what? How about we just put 2112 up in S tier and
we can revisit.
Put this up in S tier? Would you put Farewell to Kings in S tier?
I would put it A tier personally. I never connected with that record like I did with other Rush records.
How about
But I love all the songs on it.
Yeah.
So that's why I think every song on that album
is great.
Is a masterpiece. But I think as an ensemble, as a whole product, 2112 is just better.
More concise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
And the musical themes and everything, like, just the composition on 2112 just connects with me better than a lot of the stuff that's on A Farewell to Kings.
I mean,
but that's just me.
I mean, 2112 is my favorite Rush song. I ranked my top 20 favorite Rush songs. You can go check that out if you want. I'll fucking put something in here. I gotta do the stupid YouTube plugs if I want my channel to grow to anything beyond 272 subscribers. So subscribe, please. Thank you.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And smash that like button. Don't forget to hit the bell notification. Oh God, what have I become? Cygnus X1 is fucking amazing, dude.
Oh yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
That is. I didn't used to like that song when I first discovered Rush.
Yeah.
And then when I was maybe 16 or 17, I listened to that whole album and I was like, wow, every song on here is fucking amazing.
Yeah. Cygnus X1 is still super heavy when you listen to bands like Haken and Caligula's Horse. I think Haken probably took a lot from Cygnus X1.
Probably.
And they probably took a lot from Gentle Giant, too.
Yeah,
especially like Cockroach King. You know, I bet that was like directly influenced. They do it better in my opinion. But okay, so speaking of super awesome proggy, Are we just gonna put? Are we gonna put Hemispheres up in S tier? What do you think? I mean, it's got to be. It can't go any lower than A.
It can't go any lower than A.
Okay, so
but
you like 2112 better?
No, yeah.
You like. It is only 4 songs: La Villa Strangiato, Hemispheres, Circumstances, and the Trees. Maybe because it's so short.
It's so yeah. It's like I almost never think of that album as being
an album.
That album, you know, I think of the individual songs. You know, I'll just put on the trees, and then I'll move on to something else.
Yeah,
but I don't think like, oh, let me put on Hemispheres.
You know what?
You know what I mean?
Now that you say that, it's true. I'll get the urge to listen to Hemispheres or to La Villa Strange. Yeah. Like if I listen to Hemispheres, I don't need to listen to Circumstances and the Trees afterwards. If I listen to... Honestly, that's part of the reason why I love Farewell to King so much, because I usually want to listen to it all. And 2112 is great. I got to hear Passage Bank. Okay, so ahead of Farewell to Kings or behind it?
You might kill me.
Are you wanting a B tier?
Don't get me wrong. 2 of the songs on there are some of my favorite Rush songs.
La Villa Strangiato
and Circumstances.
Oh, you like Circumstances more than Hemispheres?
Than the first song?
Yeah.
Book 2?
Yeah, Book 2, yeah.
That song's okay.
Oh!
And the Trees, I think, is better than Book 2 as well.
That hurts, bro. Okay, you know
what?
That's
just me.
We'll put it in B tier, and that hurts. But I don't know. You might get a lot of boomers who want to kill you now.
That's all right. That's all right. Have you ever listened to that podcast? Your favorite band sucks.
It sounds like a podcast that does really well because I bet they are really, really getting the rage baiting going.
Oh my god! And it's so good.
All the comments are just people telling them how stupid they are, but that's exactly what they want to do.
Yeah,
they're just doing it for the likes.
They might be exaggerating, but they're always saying how they're getting like death threats by mail.
Yeah,
and like hate mail and stuff, and they love it. They did a Rush episode.
I don't even want to watch that.
And it was so funny. And obviously, as a Rush fan, I associated with a lot of the stuff they said. But one of the things that they did say was that, you know, I think it was one of the first lines. They were like, "Yep, we're gonna get a lot of boomers knocking at our doors today, trying to kill us."
That's funny. Well, dude, you know, no offense if you're older, and like that's something too that I think we've talked about this. Where it's like we were just talking about this before. Like, while I was, it's like, don't get me wrong, I love a lot of the old bands. These are the bands that got us into music,
right?
And the music's still amazing for a lot of them, like Rush, Black Sabbath. Like I still go back to them for like a well of inspiration, but I think that sometimes, and I think we'll be happy to see this, like the worship of the 70s and 80s, I'll be happy to see it go away, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, though, I'm not saying I want people to stop listening to this music, because it's incredible, but the whole idea of, like, yeah, back then it was the fucking best, and nothing's ever been good now, you know, Nirvana killed rock. It's like, dude, you've been saying that for 30 years, 40 years.
Get over it.
Yeah, you're missing out on Holy Grail, Mastodon, Protest the Hero, Caligula's Horse.
Nothing bad to say about Pink Floyd, but please shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
Like
there's
I'm tired of hearing that, oh man, nobody's ever going to be anywhere close to what Pink Floyd
We were just listening to Steven Wilson.
What are you talking about? Like, they were good.
They were, pretty great.
But, like, there's so much good stuff today that blows out of the water.
And that takes, if you love the stuff that Pink Floyd did, you'll love, like, Steven Wilson, I bet, like Porcupine Tree.
Porcupine Tree. And there's so much other stuff. But we don't, I mean, we're rating Rush albums right now.
Well, I do, yeah, but that's the conversation will meander. People will probably, hopefully, fall asleep to this. But, dude, before we go on to this, David Gilmour is fucking incredible.
Oh, yeah.
And, but, you know, funny...
I saw him live.
Where? Like, with who?
No, it was just him.
Oh, like just his solo stuff?
Yeah. This was like 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And he was amazing.
I bet. By the way, one funny story about Roger Waters talking about people who need to let shit go. Well, one, someone, sometimes people will just ruin their legacy. Like, you should have stopped talking. Like, you think of J.K. Rowling or Roger Waters. Sometimes it's like, please just stop talking. But it was an interview from a few years ago, but Roger Waters was talking about how, like, back in the early 80s, you two used to give us grief for putting on elaborate stage shows, and now they're putting on elaborate stage shows. It's like, it's been 40 years.
Yeah.
And you remember that, dude.
Plus, they didn't do much. They just played a show in a big-ass ball in Vegas. Like, that's about it.
Yeah, that big-ass ball that I keep seeing memes on Instagram about where they just replace the ball with the Eye of Sauron.
Oh, yeah.
But, okay, so... you know what? Let's put Hemispheres in B, even though that
you know
hurts.
what?
No, we can put it because we gotta save S tier for. We're doing this by Rush album,
All right.
so all these albums are incredible, even Rush, but we gotta just compare them to the other Rush albums. So Permanent Waves and.
I mean, Permanent Waves for me has got to be S tier for me.
It's one of my favorites too.
It changed my life.
Do Natural Science.
Yeah.
And Different
Every
Strings.
song on there is revolutionary.
Yeah, even
And
like the hit, Spirit of Radio, it's
Yeah.
still better than the other
holds
Rush
up
hits.
today.
Yeah.
More than
Like
most
Tom
music
Sawyer.
back then
Yeah, it's...
did.
You want to put it ahead of 2112? I'd be okay with that. Because of Natural Science and Different Strings.
I probably would put it just because of the composition.
They did manage to hone down everything. It's like a transition point between the super proggy and then kind of the more pop, and they just do a perfect balance. So it's so fucking good, dude. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's gonna disagree.
No.
I mean, no. If you disagree, feel free to let us know.
It's gotta be every, hardcore Rush fan's favorite album.
Yeah, I don't know if
it's never gonna be. I mean, a hardcore Rush fan is never gonna say, "Oh, Moving Pictures is my favorite."
No, dude. A real hardcore Rush fan will say that "Hold Your Fire" is their favorite. That's what the real ones.
Is it?
Hold Your Fire is actually way better than I think people give it credit for.
I mean, it's a good album.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, though. But
I don't think I've ever given it a chance.
You should give it a chance.
But I've listened to it, for sure.
You should re-listen to it, because
I just lose interest, when I'm listening through it.
Yeah, maybe give it another... It holds up. But, okay, so even though I don't necessarily think Permanent Waves... It's so hard to choose. I can't argue with putting it... top for now. It's so good, dude. Moving Pictures. B tier?
I think you have to at least give it B. But
I wouldn't put it any lower than B.
I would put it in A just because of how huge it was and is.
Yeah.
And every song on it, people can, if you ask people, hey, give me a Rush song.
Tom Sawyer.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what?
Give me another Rush song.
YYZ.
Yeah.
Which pronounced YYZ.
Give me another Rush song.
Red Limelight.
Yeah.
And then maybe, if they're cool, they'll say Red Barch.
Yeah. No, probably not.
No, maybe if they're a Rush nerd. I just said, hey, if they're cool and they like Rush. Cool. If they're cool like us and they're into Rush. I said no one ever. If you can't tell... was not popular with the girls. But okay, so I think I'll put it in A or B is fine with me because the first four songs, Limelight, YYZ, and Tom Sawyer, honestly, they've just been so played. I don't much care for them. I still like Red Barchetta.
That's what I was saying earlier, right?
Yeah.
It's
top 40 Rush.
It's top 40 Rush.
But the Camera Eye.
Yeah.
Witch Trial especially.
Some of the
and
Coolest
then
riffs.
Vital Signs.
Yeah.
Like those last 3 songs. Like,
and if you take away from the fact that you've heard YYZ a million times, and you've heard
Tom Sawyer
a million times, and you've heard Limelight a million times, if you just strip that away and you just listen, you just think of the song.
They're still
and you
great.
hear ding 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 ding.
Bam.
Ding.
Yeah,
I mean, dude,
even
how epic is that song?
Yeah, even YYZ, I don't put it on very often, but whenever I hear, I'm just like, oh yeah,
Man,
you know,
the bass and drum trades.
Oh yeah, the bass solo right before.
I mean that made me want to learn drums all that much more.
Nice,
like
dude.
That solo.
It is that fill right before the guitar solo.
Yeah, just the you know, they're trading
yeah
solos, and it's so cool.
Yeah, it's I mean YYZ fares better than I think than Tom Sawyer. I mean they're all great. It's just, and honestly, my love for those songs has not been dampened the way I no longer love like I cannot fucking listen to Bohemian Rhapsody or Paradise City or Sweet Child. I'm like, no, I never want. Dude, one time I went on vacation and I left the radio on to the class, like in my house, to the classic rock radio station, just so there's some noise in the house. And when I left, it was Paradise City. I was like, oh god, reminding me why I never listened to radio. And when I came back like a week and a half later, it was Paradise City playing again. I think it was like in the nearly the exact same spot. I was like, this is satire. But Bohemian Rhapsody is kind of the same way, where it's just like, oof, no. But you know what? How would we put it? Top of B. Would you be?
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, Witch Trial is and Vital Signs are incredible.
Yeah,
and it's great. But now we come to Signals, which honestly is going to be difficult. I mean, it's good.
Yeah,
but this is where like the narrative that like boomers is like, oh, then they started having too many synthesizers in there, you know. But
definitely embrace the 80s.
I don't care though. I still think it's great. Like I love all eras of Rush, you know. Analog Kid is Signals is the one that has Losing It on it, right? Right before Countdown.
Right.
Losing It is one of their best songs, and I feel like it goes underappreciated. The lyrics for that are so impactful.
Right.
Oh my god, they're so good. Some of Neil Peart's best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Subdivisions is a great fucking song.
Yeah, Subdivisions is a hit, and I still love it when I hear it, you know?
Absolutely. The ending is just, I mean, pure Rush epicness.
Dude, are we gonna
think of just pure, just going ham, and there's just a wall of synth in your face.
Then you have Chemistry and the Analog. And this was the last album that Terry Brown produced.
Was it?
I think so, and I think your dad actually told me the story. There was some disagreement over the song Chemistry, and that he was kind of thinking about like, maybe we have done enough records with these guys, and then after that it's like, okay, well, it's kind of part ways. But
that's ironic.
Why?
I guess they lost their chemistry.
Oh. Oh god. Oh, that was very punny. Dude, but I honestly want to put it above Hemispheres and Moving Pictures.
Really?
I mean, because when we were talking about Losing It, Chemistry, Analog Kid, Countdown,
maybe between, I don't know, maybe between Moving Pictures,
and Hemispheres?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd be okay with that.
That's where I'd put it, personally.
What if we put it just right here?
I don't think it belongs in front of Moving Pictures.
I don't know, it was just me trying to like find a loophole where I can be like, it's not A tier, but it's still above Moving Picture. You fell for it. You didn't fall for it, you caught it.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think though, maybe it's because I've listened to Signals a lot, and I love it, but maybe it's like there's something fresh about it. Like, I love the synthesizers.
They sound great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the Rush sound that I prefer.
Yeah.
But it sounds, they did it very tastefully.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can. Yeah, I can live with that. You know what? This is gonna be probably one of our next. We might trade barbs with this next one because no, I love Grace Under Pressure.
Really,
dude. Okay, so Grace Under Pressure. The first 4 songs and the last song are incredible. So there's 8 songs. You have it ends with Under the Wheels, which is one of their best songs. It starts off with Distant Early Warning.
Yeah, after which is a great song.
It's so like the first 4 songs, Distant Early Warning, After Image, Red Sector 8, and The Enemy Within are 4 of Rush's best songs. And then it ends with Between the Wheels, which is another one of their best songs. The only thing that sucks is the 3 in between those are kind of.
I don't agree with that.
You don't think those songs are amazing?
No, I mean, I think they're great.
Yeah.
I don't think they're their best songs at all.
You don't, dude. Between the Wheels, like the.
I mean, it's a good song.
Yeah,
I would put it under Tom Sawyer. Ouch. Any day.
Oh, yeah, dude. The freaking guitar riff, though.
I mean, it's great. Tom Sawyer's cooler.
I disagree.
Just objectively.
Objectively, but I can tell. It's like.
Well, I don't mean that. I don't mean that like it's a fact. I just mean if I'm not thinking about the fact that I am so tired of hearing Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, I think
it comes on and I'm like, ugh.
Well, stop. Well, you know what? See, there's the thing. I hear Tom Sawyer too, and I think, oh, please stop. I hear the beginning of Between the Wheels, and I'm like, fuck yeah.
But if you compare, I'm just trying to be objective about the whole thing and not put my personal feelings about how, Tom Sawyer being overplayed has affected my feeling about the song. Because I'm trying to channel my inner 16-year-old, 15-year-old, whatever. When I first heard these songs, and I was like, holy fucking shit, this is the best shit I've ever heard in my life. Right? And Tom Sawyer, for me, drew more of a feeling than any of the songs on Grace Under Pressure ever did. But
what about Red Sector A, though?
It's a killer song.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know so I love Grace Under Pressure. I think those 5 songs are incredible, but as an album, those 3 songs in the middle kind of drag it down. How about this?
Yeah.
I'll negotiate with you. Signals goes up in A, but then Grace Under Pressure goes down in B.
No way, dude.
Okay.
I don't mean to be a drag.
Okay, how about we put that up in A, Moving Pictures goes to A.
Stop trying to put Signals so far up.
Signals is great, but this is still the same order.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I just gave you Moving Pictures in A.
I'm not saying that Moving Pictures should be in A. I think its rightful place is in B, personally.
But okay, so B. But
I would argue that Grace Under Pressure is a C tier album.
Well, yeah, overall, I guess, because of those 3. But dude, so like, if we're putting it next to Hemispheres has 4 amazing songs on it. Grace Under Pressure has 5 amazing songs, and 3 songs that are kind of crappy by Rush standards.
Yeah, but you got to think percentage.
Yeah, so that's like 100% wins. It's you know what?
I don't know about that.
No, you know what?
I think I'm gonna need to confiscate. Oh god, I need to confiscate the mouse from you.
Yeah. No.
Why don't we compromise and put it,
in B.
At the end of B.
Okay, you have to emphasize at the end.
How is Grace Under Pressure a better album than Fly By Night?
It's tighter, dude. Like,
well, yeah.
It's tighter. It's more consistent. It's got 4 bangers in a row. Where Fly By Night's amazing, but you have Anthem, which is an absolute banger, and you have a couple songs after which are they're great, but they're not. I don't know. I think, like I said, I'm getting flack for this. I think
I'm fine with that.
Okay,
I'm fine with that listing.
I just, like I said, I think it has 5 of Rush's best songs.
Yeah,
and 3
I don't know.
Power
jack
Windows.
Shit about this album.
Power Windows.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I mean I've listened to it.
Yeah.
I've never really paid attention to
honestly
to anything. It's not. nothing drew my attention.
Yeah, I've listened to it and it has grown on me, but I think C tier, but ahead of Caress of Steel.
Yeah.
It's good though. I think one of my favorite. It does feel like the first time that Rush is kind of treading water a little bit, and they're not breaking new ground.
There was one song that I thought there was some cool stuff in it. I'm trying to remember.
Manhattan Project or
Territories.
Territories, yeah. There's a line in Territories. Like I like that song, but there's a line in it that always makes me chuckle because it's talking about like the different boundaries and conflicts between nations. And it's like there's a line where it's like for a better beer, like talking about the different beer. I'm like, oh no. Yeah, what's the first song on that album? I forget. I haven't listened to it in quite a while.
The Big Money.
The Big Money's cool. It's a cool album. I think Fly By Night has higher highs. I think Power Windows is more consistent, but you could also say it's more boring. I love it.
I would agree with that.
But, so yeah, you can leave them next to. Now, Hold Your Fire. I'm going to put it down in C tier. I'm going to put it above Power Windows.
Okay.
And above Caress of Steel.
Time
Stand Still is so good. Also, the first couple songs on it, Time Stand Still, but Force 10 is amazing.
Yeah.
Mission is really good. High Water is also good. It's Lock and Key also. It's a really good album, dude.
It's a really interesting album.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a completely different Rush record.
I know. It's also amazing to me how they're able to write completely different songs from, like, if you listen to definitely their first album, but like any of their early albums and listen to Hold Your Fire, doesn't feel like the same band.
Right.
But it's still so good. Like again, the whole I don't know. If I didn't fight you for Grace Under Pressure, I might want to like fight you for Hold Your Fire and put at the top of C. But I know if I try to get Hold Your Fire above Fly By Night, you're gonna try to kill me. So we'll hold it.
Actual murder.
I mean, I could take you because you're exhausted from recording drums all week, and all I need to do is like hit you in your back shoulder plate.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess this is happening. Like if I just did this.
I'm not gonna fight you about it. You can do it.
No, I can't in good conscience. I can't do it.
You'll get a lot of dislikes.
No, well, hey, that might drive the algorithm. No, but let me know in the comments if you think that Grace Under Pressure is underrated, and that if those 5 songs are some of Rush's best, because you gotta like, comment, and subscribe.
I think it's rightfully underrated.
That means it would be accurately.
Those are just fighting words.
Those are. Is Presto beneath the debut?
Yeah, it's got to be It's got to be tier.
Yeah, it's probably their worst album.
Yeah, I think they were a little jaded.
Yeah, I mean,
a little uninspired. I mean, they had just put out a pretty cool, super, I would dare to say, experimental record.
What, with Hold Your Fire?
Hold Your Fire.
Yeah.
Because they really stepped outside the Rush boundaries with that. And I thought they wrote some great songs, but after you do that, it's...
They've been going on fire since 1976 with this amazing album after amazing album.
You gotta expect something to kind of
not be good.
Yeah, just kind of end up being a little flat. And I think Presto was that for them. I mean, there were some pretty cool songs on it. Scars is kind of a cool song.
I don't think anyone is... Well, there might be, but I highly doubt very many people are going to be like, my favorite Rush album is Presto.
No.
Like, that's not the album you show people if you want to get them to understand why this band is one of the greatest of all time,
Yeah. It's not, it's no one's... Well...
It's nobody's hero.
It's obviously no one here's favorite Rush.
Yeah, so you know what? It's a composite sample of the population, the two of us. Can Roll the Bones go up an A?
Yeah, I would I either put it high B or A.
I think Roll the Bones is kind of like the 1990s version of Moving Pictures.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's got some great songs on it.
Yeah, Dreamline.
And, I'm trying to think of this one song.
You know what? The hip-hop, the rap section in the title track is... it's so...
That's what I was just thinking of.
It's so corny that it almost works.
Right.
Where you're just like, but there's, in that section, though, the bass is really cool, and there are some really tasty bends that Alex Lifeson is doing in the background. I
think that's one thing about this album that I really enjoyed, because I discovered it, I mean, it came out when we were a little older at this point.
I think it came out like 91 or 92, didn't it? It came out before we were born.
I didn't mean it came out. We discovered it when we were.
Oh this is not the first Rush album any of us listened to.
We discovered it.
Yeah.
When we were older, because I think we talked about that album at some point in high school.
Probably it was like one we were just discovering around there. Yeah.
And it seems to me like at this point they had just really mastered the whole thing that Rush is. Their instruments, the songwriting. They had just been on tour and playing together for so long, and I feel like Roll the Bones is just that. They don't have the greatest songs, in my opinion. They got some really good, super cool songs, but just everything sounds so fucking good.
It does sound really good. And, they managed to take kind of like what they were doing in the early 80s, kind of like Permanent Waves. How it's like they do a perfect mesh of it. They do a really good mesh of what they did in the 80s, where they're taking like kind of the late 70s, early 80s, and mixing it with some elements from their later albums, like Power Windows or Hold Your Fire or Grace Under Pressure. But they're just doing it with a bit more bite in their early. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if people will agree with that, but I dig Roll the Bones. Counterparts is an album kind of like Grace Under Pressure, where there's 3 or 4 amazing songs, and then a lot that are just kind of okay.
Yeah, it's not an album that I'm super knowledgeable about.
Nobody's Hero, Stick It Out, they're really good. Everyday Glory is good. I'd still put it above Corrosive Steel. I'd probably put it above Power Windows, but I wouldn't put it above those two.
No fight for me there, because I feel like I've got no basis to vote on.
Do you feel anything strongly about Test for Echo? Is that the one with this test? No, Vapor Trails has Ghost Rider. Honestly, Test for Echo is an album that I don't know. I've heard, I know, but
I mean, I've heard every song on it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing super memorable for me.
Yeah, it could just be one of those cases of like, I mean, there's so many albums, there's so many songs, some of them. Nothing against it. It's good. Honestly.
That kind of screams out C tier for me, but
yeah. So Vapor Trails, would you put below their debut? They Ghost Rider, and then there was a song that was on it, One Little Victory, Ghost Rider, but other than that though, it's just kind of, one or two. Do you have any strong opinions on it?
Not really. I mean, How It Is a cool song.
This album has really horrible production on it, though.
I agree.
It's really bad.
I think that's one thing that makes me kind of not be a huge fan of it, is, they came out fucking swinging with Roll the Bones. And then this comes out, and you're like, okay, production is so different.
I mean, well, it's not even that. It's like, this is Rush. All their albums have been produced amazing. And this one, you can hear the clip on some of the drum tracks. And it sounds really like... And it was during, like, late 90s, early 2000s, I think. The loudness wars were in, like, full swing. And, yeah, I mean...
It kind of sounds like, hey, guys, come out of my basement. I got some microphones and a little analog board.
I tell you what, Bobby.
You mean get it?
Do you want to put it below their debut then?
Yeah.
Okay, because One Little Victory is great, Ghost Rider's cool, but the debut I think is more consistent. Any strong feelings on Snakes and Arrows?
No.
Just put it above the debut. Below.
I mean, yeah. I think there are. I think every song on that album is okay. There are a couple of standouts.
What? What are some of the standouts?
Far Cry.
I mean, it is a really good game series too.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't played it in a long time, but yeah, I'll put it above the debut, and then Clockwork Angels, their last album. You know what? Just for the Garden, I'm gonna put it in B. And I think that is it. According to well, do you want to revise anything?
If we put one of the B tier in
in C. You want to?
It almost looks like a perfect pyramid.
Oh wait, so if we just if we just took Clockwork Angels and did no,
you'd have to
Okay.
There's a couple things you'd have to do, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't happen.
No. Let's make this dumb thing happen. No.
What are you doing? You're ruining it.
No, I'm keeping it in order. Okay, so there we go. According to us, and we'll probably change our mind 5 minutes from now.
Yeah.
The
kind of regretting not having 2112 as the top, but
yeah, I'm kind of well. If we keep talking about this, we'll go on for like 5 hours, and we might start throwing fists. So according to us, at this particular moment, Presto's the worst Rush album. Permanent Waves is number 1.
I agree with those two statements.
Okay, and then the real number 1 is actually Grace Under Pressure, but we'll talk about that later. But let us know in the comments below. I gotta do the whole. Hey, let us know in the comments below what you think about this. But so thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you had some fun, and tell us what your favorite Rush albums are. There's 16, 17 albums, so there's about 550,000 ways you can rank these if you do it. So look forward to seeing that. And well, this was fun, Terry. So thank you all.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, dude. We need some more drinks. Yeah, and like always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you at the next video. Peace.